For many years, the conflict between Iran and Israel was fought in the shadows. It was a war of secrets, spies, and cyber attacks. Israel was often blamed for mysterious explosions at Iranian nuclear sites and for targeted assassinations of key scientists. In return, Iran built a network of allied groups, known as proxies, across the Middle East. Groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas in Gaza received money, weapons, and training from Iran to fight Israel. This indirect struggle allowed both nations to harm each other without starting a full-scale direct war. This long period of covert conflict defined their relationship, creating deep distrust and a constant, simmering tension that shaped the entire region's security landscape for decades. This shadow war dramatically changed in the spring of 2024. In April, an Israeli airstrike hit an Iranian consular building in Syria, killing high-ranking Iranian military officials. Iran's response was historic and unprecedented. For the first time ever, it launched a direct attack on Israel from its own soil, firing over 300 drones and missiles. While most were shot down by Israel and its allies, the message was clear: the old rules were gone. This event pushed the long-simmering conflict out into the open. It was a major escalation that put the entire world on high alert, fearing a much larger and more destructive regional war that could draw in other countries and destabilize global markets. The tension did not stop there. The conflict continued to escalate into 2025. After a period of smaller retaliatory strikes and warnings, Israel launched a significant preemptive attack on Iran in June 2025. Israeli leaders claimed they had intelligence about an imminent large-scale Iranian attack on their cities. This move marked a dangerous new phase, shifting from single retaliatory acts to a more sustained state-on-state military conflict. The international community watched with great concern as these two powerful regional rivals engaged in direct combat, a scenario that diplomats had worked for years to prevent. Each strike made the path back to stability that much harder to find. The world reacted with alarm to this new reality. The United Nations overwhelmingly called for an immediate ceasefire, and countries from Europe to the Middle East urged both sides to step back from the brink. The United States, a key ally of Israel, found itself in a delicate position, trying to support its partner while also preventing a wider war from erupting. The attacks in 2024 and 2025 shattered the illusion that the Iran-Israel conflict could remain contained in the shadows. It was now a direct and open confrontation, with the potential for devastating consequences not just for them, but for the entire world, raising fears about security, oil prices, and international stability. The United States has a long and deep alliance with Israel, and this relationship is central to its Middle East policy. When Iran launched its massive drone and missile attack in April 2024, American forces played a crucial role in helping Israel defend itself. U.S. jets and warships helped shoot down incoming projectiles, demonstrating a clear commitment to Israel's security. This support is not just military, it is also financial and diplomatic. Many in Washington believe that a strong Israel is a key U.S. interest and that America has a duty to protect its ally from what it sees as Iranian aggression. This view holds that failing to stand by Israel would send a message of weakness to adversaries around the world. However, there is a strong counter-argument against direct U.S. military involvement. Many officials and experts warn that joining the fight could easily drag the United States into a massive regional war. Such a conflict would be incredibly costly, both in lives and financial resources, and could destabilize the entire Middle East. It would put thousands of American troops stationed in the region at risk, and could disrupt global oil supplies, causing economic pain worldwide. The current U.S. administration, under President Trump, has so far expressed a preference for de-escalation, even blocking a previous Israeli plan to attack Iran. These voices argue that America's role should be to act as a peacemaker, not a participant in the war. The debate is not just about war, but also about the power of diplomacy. Proponents of peace talks argue that the only real long-term solution is a negotiated one. Throughout 2025, the U.S. engaged in several rounds of talks with Iran, trying to find a diplomatic off-ramp. The main goal was to broker a deal that would limit Iran's nuclear program in exchange for lifting some of the crushing economic sanctions. While these talks have stalled, many believe they are the most responsible path forward. They argue that military action will only breed more violence, whereas a diplomatic agreement, however difficult to achieve, could bring lasting stability and prevent a catastrophic conflict from unfolding. Ultimately, the United States faces a difficult choice with no easy answers. On one hand, its alliance with Israel and its strategic interests push it to take a firm stand against Iran. On the other hand, the enormous risks of a wider war push it toward caution and diplomacy. The decision to intervene militarily or to focus solely on mediation is one of the most critical foreign policy challenges of our time. The path America chooses will not only determine its own fate, but will also have a profound impact on the future of both Iran and Israel, and the stability of the entire world, which is watching and waiting. When comparing the military power of Israel and Iran, it is a story of technology versus numbers. Israel possesses one of the most technologically advanced militaries in the world. Its air force is equipped with cutting-edge fighter jets, and its multi-layered air defense systems, like the famous Iron Dome and the more advanced Arrow system, are designed to intercept everything from small rockets to long-range ballistic missiles. Furthermore, it is widely believed that Israel has nuclear weapons, a secret but powerful deterrent. Israel's strength lies in its ability to conduct precise high-tech strikes and defend its territory with incredible efficiency, making it a formidable opponent despite its smaller size. Iran, on the other hand, relies on a different kind of strength. Its military is much larger in terms of personnel, but its conventional equipment, like tanks and planes, is generally older and less sophisticated than Israel's. Iran's real power comes from two key areas: its massive arsenal of ballistic missiles and armed drones, and its network of regional allies. Iran can launch hundreds of projectiles to overwhelm defenses and can call upon its proxies, like Hezbollah, to open additional fronts against Israel. This strategy of asymmetric warfare allows Iran to project power far beyond its borders and challenge a technologically superior foe without engaging in a traditional head-to-head battle. Economically, the gap between the two nations is much clearer. Israel has a strong, dynamic, and wealthy economy. It is a world leader in technology, cybersecurity, and innovation, with a GDP of over $500 billion. This economic strength allows it to fund its advanced military and withstand the financial pressures of conflict far better than its rival. Israel's close ties with the United States and European nations also give it access to global markets and financial support. This robust economic foundation is a critical component of its national power, providing the resources needed to maintain its military edge and national resilience. Iran's economy tells a very different story. For years, it has been crippled by severe international sanctions led by the United States. These sanctions have cut Iran off from much of the global financial system, leading to high inflation and limited economic growth. Its GDP is significantly smaller than Israel's, standing at under $400 billion. Although Iran has managed to survive by exporting oil, often through clandestine means, and by strengthening economic ties with countries like China and Russia, its economy remains its greatest vulnerability. This financial weakness limits its ability to modernize its military and could affect its capacity to sustain a long and costly war. Finding a way to end the conflict between Iran and Israel is incredibly challenging, but not impossible. The most realistic path to de-escalation is through intense and persistent diplomacy. This means a renewed effort for direct or indirect talks, likely mediated by a major power like the United States or a neutral group of nations. The goal of these talks would be to establish clear red lines and communication channels to prevent accidental escalations. The fact that both sides have shown some restraint in their attacks suggests that neither truly wants an all-out war. Diplomacy could build on this shared interest, focusing first on a simple ceasefire before tackling the more complex issues that divide them. International pressure can also play a crucial role in pushing both sides toward peace. When the United Nations General Assembly called for a ceasefire in June 2025, it sent a powerful message that the world opposes this conflict. Key regional players, such as Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Egypt, also have a strong interest in preventing a wider war that would threaten their own stability and economic prosperity. These countries could use their diplomatic influence and economic leverage to encourage both Iran and Israel to step back from the brink. A unified front from the international community could make it politically costly for either side to continue the aggression. A lasting peace, however, requires more than just stopping the missiles. It means addressing the core issues that fuel the conflict. The most significant of these is Iran's nuclear program. Israel views a nuclear-armed Iran as a threat to its very existence, while Iran insists its program is for peaceful purposes. A verifiable and long-term agreement on the nuclear issue, one that provides security assurances to Israel while offering sanctions relief to Iran, is essential for any durable peace. This would be a monumental diplomatic achievement, requiring compromises that neither side has been willing to make so far, but it remains the central piece of the puzzle. Ultimately, the path to peace is narrow and fraught with obstacles, but it exists. It requires a combination of immediate de-escalation through diplomacy, strong international pressure, and a long-term commitment to resolving fundamental disagreements like the nuclear issue. The alternative is a devastating regional war that would cause immense human suffering and have global consequences. While the current situation in June 2025 looks grim, the shared fear of such a catastrophe might be the very thing that nudges these old rivals toward a future of uneasy coexistence instead of mutual destruction. The hope for peace, however faint, must be pursued relentlessly.